City College of San Francisco, a tradition of winning since 1935. With an undefeated national championship season in their rearview mirror, the Rams prepare. Winning is a religion at City College, and head coach George Rush is the pastor.
Well, going into the offseason, particularly after a successful campaign, is to make sure that you don't go in with a sense of arrogance and entitlement that because you did it last year means you're automatically going to do it again the following year. The passion and the hard work and all those type of dedication that players brought a year ago to win that, this team has to duplicate that and maybe even be better because, the bullseye just keeps getting bigger on your back. I mean, whether it's offense or defense, the thing we like speed. I'm not so hung up on big guys as I want fast guys. I want fast linemen, I want fast offensive tackles, I want fast fat guys, whatever we got, we want fast guys. When you treat people first class and they play in first class facilities, then again, their self-esteem, how they see themselves, all those things rise. And you tend to kind of reflect that in how you play. That is the premier playing surface in the world. It's a Mondo Ecofield field. There isn't a better field in the world. It's better than field turf. It's better than anything. It is a real advantage to be able to practice on that, and it really reduces injuries. The film, the infield doesn't spread and spray and do things like rubber does. And it's great. You attract the very best players, and they all want to come here, for the same reasons. So competitively, it's very, very competitive, just to not only to make the team, and then above and beyond that, to get into the starting lineup and really showcase yourself. But if you do that and you can do it at this school, you fast-tracked yourself to something pretty good when you leave here. Obviously, we have a great tradition of winning, and above and beyond that, we have a great tradition of our players going on to Division I schools, and not only going there, but being successful when they get there. Well, leadership's huge, and leadership can be a positive or negative. You can get somebody that's a real charismatic guy, and he's a big jerk, and then you get, some bubble guys, and they can just go along the jerk path if they want to, But on the other hand, if you can get some of those guys that are real charismatic, and they bring a lot of positive qualities to the team, you can get some of those bubble guys and they choose to go in that direction. For the dollar value, this is the best show in town. It's a great venue, as you mentioned, to watch football. There's a great atmosphere. There's an extremely high quality of football being played. And you're seeing both in terms of some of our players and some of our opponents, people that are in fact future NFL players. But above and beyond that, it's a great way, to spend a Saturday afternoon, enjoy great football, and hang out with your friends and just have a blast. You're in college, go have some fun. I'm a big believer in the team belongs to the players, and then they need to take ownership of their team and the direction, the attitudes that they display are kind of the way the team's going to go. My job is to coach, to be a teacher, and their job is to kind of execute and make those kinds of things happen.
A team united with one goal in mind: leave it all on the field.
Let's go!
Students are raving about the African music and history course taught by a professional drummer, Kwaku Daddy. This course is sure to broaden your creative and spiritual senses and have you marching to the beat of your own drum.
The African drumming class is more of a heritage class.
The reason that I took the class was to help with my timing, and on the first day of class, Kwaku said, forget about timing.
I've been at City College now for some time, and my subject matters always have to do with rhythm, African rhythm specifically, African traditions, and how we use African rhythms as a form of education.
The roots of it are definitely in African drumming, African dancing, African culture. There is the congas, dundun, and djembe. There are three main types of hits. You have a bass, and you have a tone, and then you have a slap. But then as we start working our way into it, and as things start simmering in the pot, it starts to get really heated. And then after a while, things are really cooking and we're all grooving. Definitely high energy.
We try to enhance the individual so that they can bring their own style. Because style is something that you cannot teach anybody. They are born with it. And what we try to do is to enhance their style and their breathing purpose and the rhythmic forces that they use in playing the rhythm.
Kwaku says a lot that when you're playing the drum, you're supposed to become the drum. The drum's supposed to become you. It's an extension of yourself. So where your mentality is, wherever you are in your heart, that's going to resonate, come through the drum. So.
For me, it doesn't really necessarily matter whether it's, mostly males or mostly females. I'm just there to drum. If you wanted a famous, influence, I'd say Sheila E. because she is one of the only females, one of the very few females, I should say, in the world that, she's really good.
My idea of them in terms of what they should know is to try to understand the sensibility and the sensitivity of what they are playing. Well, the technique I teach are very ancient techniques. They are what we call the master and the apprentice. Our music is based on the structure of music called polyrhythm. In other words, we can play 20 different rhythms going at the same time. And what we try to do is to see the harmony between all of them.
A big warm thank you to the students of the African drumming class, and a special thank you to Kwaku Daddy for allowing us an exclusive preview into the world of African drumming.
What we're trying to do is make them trainable and teachable, okay? Because the electronic industry outside of school are so advanced, it's very hard for the school system to try to catch up with them. So what we're going to do is we want to make sure that we teach them enough basic, so when they go out to the industry can train them in all those specific things that they need to know. But eventually they will be working with some kind of engineer, and the engineer will kind of like guide them along. But the engineer will expect the student will know certain kind of basic. So when they will talk the same language. So in other words, they are trainable and teachable. that you need to learn to use, such as how to use a solder iron, voltmeter, very basic types of equipment, a oscilloscope, which you use to act as a receiver to measure signal, and how to use generators, and power supplies. And on the digital side, and they learn how to use the equipment to deal with digital circuitry, such as logic analyzers and scopes and pulse measurement device and so on.
Don't lower the transistor go in the very last possible moment because it's an active device, right? You touch it and you zap them.
Having an understanding of electronics is essential for moving forward in the future as a human being, and I would like to help provide a foundation for technologies that are focused on human beings and their livelihood.
And it's one of the circuits that we study in the class over as well. So at the end, finish studying, analyzing it, they build the circuit, they test them, put them in the PC board, and put it into the box, and they use it.
The first two semester in basic electronics have to do with understanding Ohm's law, basic RCL circuit analysis. But when it comes to the third semester, now we're kicking into semiconductor device. When they leave here the program, they should have enough skill and knowledge to become, like line supervisors, shop supervisors, and so on. One field that the study never ends. It's not like a mechanical engineering where you study to a certain degree. It kind of saturated there. It's not going to evolution too much. But electronic is something else, and given 6 months of time, you can go into a different generation of electronics.
Can expect to learn in metal arts many hand skills and eventually the use of specific tools. So the first beginning course is structured around basic skills. You learn how to saw, you learn how to file, you learn how to set cabochon stones, you learn how to solder. It's very challenging, but it's very fun also. Some of the metals that we use in ART 180 are copper, brass, sometimes bronze, sterling silver, sometimes gold if you can afford it, sometimes steel, A lot of the equipment that we use revolves around fire, so it's very fun. We have torches, we have natural gas and compressed air torches, we have acetylene torches, we have oxyacetylene torches. There are common misconceptions. When people come to the first day of class, they often think either that it's going to be really easy or that it's going to be sculpture, which sculpture is sculpture. This is metal arts. We do make sculptural objects, but if you want to carve stone, that's down the hall.
Hi, my name is Morgan. I'm a second semester metal arts student. This is my best friend, and currently my project is embossing, where you carve out the negative shape of an object and then lay a piece of metal that's flat over it. Put 10,000 pounds of force down and it takes the form of the plastic. So, yeah, pretty fun.
Once a year in the gallery down the hall, we have the juried student art exhibition, which is sort of an amalgamation of all the artwork, and a juror comes in from outside, usually a professional artist, and he or she picks the works that they think fit in a theme. I use the skills that I teach all the time in my studio at home. Especially right now I'm doing a lot of casting. So what I teach in 180B and 180B2 and 180C is exactly what I'm using at home. Again, the misconception often is that this class is going to be sort of a piece of cake, one of the classes that you take while you're really studying biology and chemistry. That's not the case.
Watching the film, and I loved it, and it's Bob Fosse, and he's the man. So it was the last of the Bob Fosse shows that I hadn't directed, so I wanted to do my spin on it. You get the script and you really make it your own. You read it forwards, backwards, sideways, so you just know it so thoroughly. And I usually start about 2-3 months before auditions, where I choreograph it and I block everything down to the minute detail. I, as the director, have to have a really clear vision of how I want the show to look. And I do my own choreography, since I figure if I can do it, they can do it, because I'm working with people who can't dance. And then it's, making sure that the musical director is on board.
Every time we do a musical, we have to add or take away things based on a number of factors. Sometimes there's technical things we can't do within the play, and so we have to make some modifications. Sometimes there are people that can't sing certain parts, so we have to modify those. Sometimes we decide to trim things down or just modify things based on the stage director, of course, Deborah Shaw, her concept of the piece. Or my feeling about the piece, sometimes we'll change some things, sometimes a little faster, a little slower.
And that your set designer knows exactly what you're going for, because they have to, they're the ones who sort of make it come to life.
I design every piece of furniture and scenery that's on the set, design the painting for the scenery, and I also oversee all the construction and setup and teardown of all the sets, and organize the crew.
There's approximately 205 light cues in the show. There's also about 150 lights up in the air for the show, which is pretty small. And on the set we have this big joke wall, and parts of it open up and people pop out with signs and lights come up on them and the lights go out.
Make sure everybody can hear the singers clearly and the music, and it's all mixed together well, and whatever sound effects the shows need, I record them and edit them and put them together. The combination of a lot of sound effects and a lot of mics, making it all sound musical, making it all work together.
I do about everything in the show. I call the show, I write down notes for everything, and I take care of the actors. I'm like the right-hand man for the director. I have my master script, and I call all the cues in the show, including all sound cues, all light cues. I make sure everything on stage goes smoothly. I direct set crew in any way possible.
And then it goes down to costumes and then makeup. Collaboration is key. I mean, everything has to come together. The music, the sets, the lights, the costumes. And again, my vision has to be very clear because it all filters through the director. And it still never ceases to amaze me when you see the finished product up on the stage, that little movie or play was in your head.
Nowhere.
Welcome.
No naked people.
To the real Fandango.
See.